Hi, my name's Liam. I'm a product manager at Google. I was a program manager at Microsoft, and today we're going to be talking about how to get into product during undergrad or from undergrad. So let's dive into it. So the overview of today's discussion is we're going to first talk about positions that are available to undergrad students. We're going to be talking about what you should be doing while you're a student. We're going to be talking specifically for advice for early in career, early in student life students, so the first 1 to 2 years, and then we're going to be talking about the latter half of being a student in undergrad, what you should be doing for the 3 to 4 year mark. The first section, positions available out of undergrad. What's available? Well, TLDR is not a lot. there's almost nothing. There is some hope, and I'll explain it a little bit later, but it's very tough and very competitive, so don't worry about it. I will outline the two positions that are available. First is what we call APM or RPM positions. They're very competitive. It's a 1 to 3 year, usually 2 year rotational program where you go between two teams at a company. You do 1 year at one team, 1 year at another. I know Google, Facebook, Yelp, they all offer these APM type positions. The second is early in career product managers. So this is less known, but still competitive. One example of this is at Microsoft. They don't have a different title like at Google where it's an APM. They're just considered a PM. It's just a lower level. Usually doesn't rotate. Usually it's, you just go into a team and you're just early in career. Like I said, there's not a lot of availability, but there are a lot of ways to get into product. And this is what I'm going to talk about today. So the more common paths, the first one is just get into the tech company with any title, right? It's easier to become a PM at a tech company once you're already in the company. Transitioning is much simpler and much more straightforward. Asking PMs for shadowing opportunities, side projects. Hey, I'll write your PRD for you because you're too busy. Whatever it may be, eventually you'll be asked to join your team. If you just keep getting coffee with PMs, you might just suddenly wake up and you're a PM. Go for lesser known companies with the title of PM. So this could be startups, this could be non-tech companies. There are plenty of companies out there that want product managers, but they're not as known, they're not as competitive. They don't have huge HR departments. So I would suggest actually just emailing recruiting and saying, hey, I'm a product manager and I'm interested in joining your company, and start the conversation that way. A third way is create a company out of college, right? Take that risk. Tech companies love their PMs to be founders of companies. It kind of shows that the person can build something from scratch. It can build without having extreme guidance, right? They can just find problems in the market. It's such a strength and it's so attractive in a candidate to say that they've been a founder. Go do it, but also just remember that you need to ship the product. So it can't be like a startup on paper. You need to ship something and show that you actually drove impact somehow. It could be a failed startup, but just ship something. So that was chapter 1. Let's go to chapter 2. First, have fun and meet people. Just relax. Don't be a workaholic. This develops your personal skills, extremely important for product. It builds your network. This will be so helpful later on in your life and even early in your career. Hackathons, startup competitions, pitch workshops, whatever it may be, sign up for all of them. Even if you fail, you don't even get on the leaderboard, whatever it may be, sign up for all of it and give it your all on all of them. Follow tech news, The Verge, TechCrunch, subreddits, Product Hunt, whatever it may be. Be actually interested in tech. If you want to be a product manager at a tech company, you should probably be interested in technology. Actually, let me go back and caveat that if you're going into a tech company and being a product manager at a tech company, then you should be interested in technology. If you're being a product manager at ExxonMobil or Walmart's retail side or something like that, maybe you don't have to be that interested in tech. That's totally fine. Another only in tech advice is learn to code. This can be basics, not like I know what a variable is or I can do math. That's not coding. I want you to actually learn it. Take a little intro class online. There's a bunch of free material. I'll try to link something below. I want to reiterate, do things outside of academics. Doesn't need to be too much. Don't let your grades slip. Be an honest, hardworking, genuine person, right? These are kind of like just general life advice things, but it does align with being a product manager as well. So also try to be a student ambassador of companies. I know Google has a student ambassador program, Apple has a student ambassador program, LinkedIn, a lot of these startups also have it as well. It's minimal amount of work. You just have to market the brand on campus for free. You get some swag, but it gets your foot in the door to talking to recruiters and people at that company. All right, moving on to chapter 3. So this is advice for students in your first 2 years of college. So first, I want you to learn a skill that has a useful output. This may be creating music. It may be flying drones. It may be designing t-shirts, learning to code, whatever it may be. Build something that you can build a product out of. Drop shipping, candle making. I don't care, right? Just do something. Learn a skill that you can talk about. And then what you're gonna do is use that skill to make something you can sell. Wow, you just created a company, right? It was that easy. Getting a product job is pretty competitive. So make your candle making business, make some money off of it. You have an incredible story that makes you even a more competitive candidate when you graduate college. Also, join PM clubs. If there are none, make it even better. You can create a PM club from scratch. Finally, apply to PM internships. You probably won't get in. That is okay. But applying and having your name out there in the systems of these companies, they will reach out to you eventually. That's how I got my job at Google. And finally, we're going to be talking about advice for students that are in the last 2 years of college. So that's junior and senior year. If you haven't done the first 2 years of things that I just suggested, go back and do that first, try to do as much as that, and then come back to this. Building off of what you learned in the first 2 years of college, I want you to find more PM internships. You're going to need to apply to every single one. What I want you to do is make this like a systematic approach to it. I want you to make a huge Excel list. I want every single company on there, every single position, every single thing that you're applying to. Think outside of tech. Go consulting, healthcare, logistics, whatever it may be, and build a huge list of these companies, all of the product positions you can find, a link to that actual job application, and the status of when you applied and what the current status of it is. Also, get referrals. There's a bunch of alumni out there for your undergrad college. There's a bunch of alumni for other colleges that you may have grown up near. Whatever it may be, try to find connections on LinkedIn. It helps get in the door and get through the robot blockers that are just automatically throwing out your resume by accident. Also, I suggest joining PM communities online. There's a bunch of free things out there. Again, don't pay for stuff. This should all be free. Cold email some PMs. Ask if you can go through and do interviews, some mock interviews, whatever it may be. Let's say it's Sunday. You don't have any homework or anything. Read a book about being a product manager. I'm gonna have a whole video around what books I recommend for what stage of the process you're in. There or in the description, wherever it may be, it'll be there. Cracking the PM interview, Decode and Conquer, Win Friends and Influence People. You don't need too many books, but I would start with those as being the basics. Watch videos on interview tips, product interview tips, other types of interview and advice. Whatever it may be, study for these interviews. So that concludes the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, if you found it useful, leave a comment on some feedback, what you liked, what you didn't like. Subscribe to the channel to support me. The entire purpose of this YouTube channel is to make free, high quality content that is backed by research from product managers in the industry that has no strings attached. There's no money involved. I hope you have a great day, and yeah, good luck on getting your next product job. Bye.